Hello, everyone, and welcome back to PSM Spotlight. In this episode, we're hanging out with anime fan, figure collector, YouTube content creator, and overall good guy, DiamondFlame45. How are you, good sir?
Hello, hello.
Yeah, first of all, I know it's about 4 months late, but congratulations on the first anniversary of your channel.
Yeah, yeah, I know, right? It took me like a decade to start actually making content, but better late than never.
So, what was the inspiration for you to actually make your channel? Like you said before your previous video, it's only just recently that you mustered up the courage to actually go in front of the camera.
I don't think I must have the courage. I guess it's just overcome my laziness and procrastination because social and friendly person and like to put myself out there, even though I might make mistakes along the way. It's just overcoming that inertia, actually putting content there. Because I've been collecting since 2013. I saw so many trends come and go. And I also saw like the content creators at the time come and go as well. I only know a few that are still in the game, but some of them kind of transition. Like, have you heard of I can't pronounce his
Yeah,
name.
I have. I have.
I remember when he Big Mus, but now he's going back to like Gunpla.
Yeah.
So he's one of the OGs. There's this other guy called something Wong. Like he has like this cute little dinosaur as his little profile avatar, but he
Yes.
doesn't really collect anime figure. He collects a lot of Western franchises.
Mm. So why Diamond Flame 45? What was the inspiration behind the name?
So I created that account when I was an edgy high schooler back in the day.
Did you plan
So
to do SoundCloud or something like?
No, like I was like any other high schooler at the time. Just mix up some words that sound cool together and just put it out there. But ironically, I did some research because I was born in April and my
Mm,
birthstone is a diamond. And I'm
wow.
also an Aries. So my element is fire. So it's like very passionate and energetic. And 45 for numerology, it means like growth and ambition and like I like putting myself out there and being ambitious or whatnot, even if I struggle along the way. And it's funny how like all those things kind of melded in together because it kind of
Mm.
sonifies me.
It's an amalgamation of everything that you know you are, but you
Exactly.
didn't actually
Or
know yet at that time.
exactly. Very well. Very
Yeah.
good analysis. Yeah.
So in your earlier videos, you've actually reviewed KanColle, which is kind of funny. What got you into KanColle? Is it the games or is it the anime?
So back in the day, because I got into KanColle back in 2014. I was like a sophomore in college, and during that time, KanColle was one of like the big franchises in Japan, and also Idols. Like it was either KanColle or Idols back in like the 2014s and 2015s, like with Love Live and the Warship Girls. And it was mainly through the anime because at the time the game was region blocked. You had to go through all these
Yeah.
weird turnarounds just to access the game because it
It's a
wasn't like a
browser
mobile.
game, right?
Yeah, it was a browser game at the time, but not. But you know how the trends have come and go now. Like everything's more geared towards mobile now. So I don't think browser games exist. Is it still browser at this point? And it still exists. I think Kenko as a browser game. I think it does. I don't think the server has shut down yet.
Yeah, because my
But
friend actually was actually playing it back in the day. I think this was back in 2014. I
mhm.
never actually knew about KanColle. What are these weird girls with battleships stuck to their asses? So
Now we have Azur Lane. Kenko walked so Azur Lane could run, honestly. And Kenko is a little bit much more. I wouldn't say it's like prudish. It's a little bit more subdued. It's not like over the top out like Azure Link. Because some of the designs like whoa, like it's kind of borderline. Oh, like it's very zesty. Like they
yeah,
know their
it was
demographic.
a very early rendition of ecchi, right?
Right, right, right.
Of the genre.
What
And
can
and the series is actually pretty prime for a gotcha game, right?
right? Like the waifus, right? Like all of them, the waifu ship
Gotcha's
girls,
actually it's a way to go right now for printing money.
right? Like, and unfortunately, that's a trend where a lot of video games are moving towards. Like even like the big triple A games. Like you're trying to incorporate some sort of subscription, like recurring model that's just play and go with minimal maintenance. But that's also like ties into like the figures because now you see all these figure manufacturers prioritizing like gotcha game figures or Hollow Life figures because it has that recurring content creation, because like anime takes cycles, right? Like if one season's over,
Yeah.
the season loses popularity. So I understand like the business point of view. That's why they're prioritizing those characters.
Yeah, I had this conversation in the last interview with Excotagani Studios. Like the gotcha thing is popping up for the figures. Like you're among those figure collectors that actually collect uh gotcha type series. So have you ever in a sense been pressured to actually complete a line and buy something just to complete it?
Not really. I'm one of those people that if I like the character design, I don't mind just getting that character and don't worry about the other characters because like when I started collecting KanColle, I didn't collect like all like the skill figures. I only cut the ones that really caught the attention because back in the day I was a broke college student as well as a grad student, so I couldn't afford some of the skills. But now like I was able to get like the Yamato Wonderful Hobby Selection like for like $200 now, which at the time was cheap because at the time the US dollar was kind of weak, the yen was stronger. Like it would have costed me like almost $300 to buy her at the time. So I'm glad that I kind of waited for the hype to die down.
Hooray for
And
disposable income, right?
yeah, and those figures actually aged pretty well. Like some of those figures that were manufactured back in 2016 are well detailed compared to the ones we see right now. And they're pretty affordable too if you're okay getting an older franchise. That's why I
Which
took. Oh,
yeah, which company actually specializes in CanColle? Is it Max Factory?
it was Good Smart Company and Max Factory. So
Oh, I
yeah,
see.
so
Now going back to your journey, like it's more than 1 year now. When you had that anniversary video, did you ever look back and think like, I am pretty early on in this stage. Maybe there was something that I could have actually done or changed that could have increased the outcome of that first year?
the first year, it's pretty interesting because the algorithm always changes. Like I watched like the like generic YouTuber like gurus or whatever for like just a generic feedback and then so that I can apply to my channel. But essentially it's just focus on I guess your video production quality and engagement and just work with what you have. And then as you grow, you can like improve your I guess your production quality, like getting equipment. Because I plan to invest on a more professional grade camera. Because I just been using my iPhone 14 Pro and a DJI mic just to record my videos and a basic ring light. So nothing too fancy.
Yeah, you're in that lucky spot where the availability of equipment is actually really good. Like I remember collecting Transformers back in 2007. There wasn't actually any available video
Right.
equipment for us to actually use. So the people who actually do YouTube back then, their video qualities are pretty grainy. Now, if you started back in 2013, you have the option of using a smartphone. So
Yeah.
moving forward with your channel, what do you feel like would you want to actually include? This is for the audience. Well, what would the subscribers of Diamond Flame actually 45 actually expect for the upcoming second year?
I I don't know. It's because right now in the US, like the climate for collecting is so uncertain now because of the recent tariffs imposed by the current administration. So, but how things are, it's like we're kind of waiting to see how it goes to see if those tariffs are actually going to be enforced. So for me, it's just improving like just like the production quality of my videos, like get a better camera, try a little bit improve my editing a little bit more because it's funny. Like for me, I'm a bit of a lazy person, but in a sense that I'm also efficient. Like I like to try to do some overlap and some of the skills I'm learning. Like for example, a lot of the tech stack I'm using for my videos, they coincide to some of the tech stack you see like in corporate spaces. Like I use Camtasia, which is like
Mhm.
a video software that is used a lot in corporate profession and bit settings because it's very user friendly. You see a lot in tech, marketing, like sales enablement. So ever because I work as a system administrator, so I don't really create content. So I found this as a helpful way to learn those skill sets so that I can leverage it for like a promotion within my company or somewhere else. But we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. Laziness is a club that's easy to actually join, right? You basically do nothing.
Right. Just fixing stuff. Like I've been enjoying creating content because for my role, like I fix up and then people tell me like, well, like the stuff I need to fix, you know. So it's like, okay, I need to fix this. So this is like a good creative outlet. But to be fair, YouTube has made me a better at work because I'm much more privy to details now. Because you know when you edit videos, you have to go frame
Yeah.
by frame at times. And then when you since I work with software a lot, when I notice something changed, it's like, oh, that line of code's not how it's supposed to be. Like, let me fix that kind of thing. And I'm more privy to like detail changes now. So I guess there's some benefits of your hobbies translating to work.
Yeah, doing content for YouTube tends to make you obsessive compulsive, right? Sometimes
It does, it does, it
it brings
does.
that out of you.
Right.
Like in terms of the figure collecting stuff, what aspect of it do you actually enjoy the most?
Like honestly, like I guess the community aspect because a lot of my friends are normies. Like they're not really into
Yeah,
like anime. They're like like their fitness. A lot of them are married with kids. Like so the priorities have changed as well. And and I and for me that's why I kind of enjoy the figure collecting community because like I get to hang out with my other fellow weebs, you know. So. And I've been actually enjoying the content creation process more because before that, collecting's been kind of a bit it's a consumeristic kind of hobby because oh cool I got this fig, but now I really enjoy like having the figure, like making it and the experience enjoyable, sharing like the product with other people so that they can make an informed decision on whether or not they should buy it. Because honestly, in a way, like anime figure reviews are no different than any other product reviews. Like you're
yeah,
highlighting the pros and cons of the product you're showcasing, you know, so. Like I literally watch. I also watch content creators who showcase like camera gear. It's not any different. Like they just show camera gear, while we just show figures instead. So
like when it comes to figure reviews, what part of a figure do you actually put more weight on when it comes to you giving your stamp of approval for that review?
oh, that's a very good question because I think like since it's 2025, I expect figure manufacturers to be a little bit more creative when it comes to like supporting the figures. For example, like I remember back in the day, like especially with like Nitus, like they used to have like these gaudy support stands for like
Yeah,
some expensive scales to support twin tips. But now like figure manufacturers are getting a little bit more creative now. Like they're actually using the base as a support for her twin tails. And it
yeah,
makes you realize why it took you guys this long to figure that out, like incorporating the base to support like certain aspects of the figure, you know. But there's also trade-offs too, because I know some people like doing photography and they want to have like a free figure, you know, that's not constrained by the base or something.
yeah.
But
That
basically,
Miku and Cinnamoroll collab that I actually looked at, the twin tails are actually attached to the skirt. Like
oh, the price figure or the Nendroid? Because I
the
don't
price figure, the price figure are actually much more creative when it comes to hiding those inadequacies that some scale manufacturers don't actually think of.
right. Because I don't know if you can see in my background. I reviewed that Miku actually yesterday,
Hmm.
and before I went out with some friends because they wanted to go to some borscht because they were visiting from DC, and I was very impressed by this Miku because her twin tails are actually attached to the base, so you don't even have to worry about inserting them whatsoever. Because like assembling the Mikus can be a little bit stress inducing because it's always a pig, so you always have to be careful.
Yeah.
But I didn't have to worry about anything about this Miku, and I was very impressed. And she was
Is there
well with
any is there any particular brand here at the start of 2025 that actually is impressing you right now? Or you have high hopes for it moving forward?
I guess I think collectors are in a good time to get into the hobby because there's so many cost-effective alternatives now. Like you're seeing like price manufacturers like titles stepping up their game and providing like good quality and affordable price figures. Like some of my favorite figures are actually price figures. Like I really like Artist Masterpiece Plus line. They still make that much. I recently been getting into desktop cutes.
Mhm.
Uh, what else? Like you're also getting like Chinese manufacturers stepping into the arena as well, like Bear Panda. And it makes you wonder whether Japanese companies are just marking up their prices, or maybe they're not giving, or the Chinese companies are not giving their workers livable wages. So I really don't know, honestly. So it's like a
Yeah,
interesting situation,
that's actually a good discussion when it comes to the pre-order times, the amount of
right?
weight that we're actually getting for these price figures. Like
Right?
I did ask this question to Steven the last time. Like, is the price actually justified for these figures? Because as you can see behind me, like I said before, I collect Transformers masterpieces. Like the
Right.
pre-order time for these, sometimes it takes a year, sometimes it takes never. Sometimes they don't come out just because these actually involve engineering. So I can understand. But like I said before, these are just sculpted figures that are actually painted well, albeit, but the amount of complexity is actually pretty less. And
Right.
the distribution between the transformer stuff for us collectors is actually pretty frequent compared to the anime figures. Like I posed this question before, like, do you think they could have done better with this?
I think so. And now that you bring up Transformers, they're surprisingly very expensive. But it's like you
Yeah.
mentioned, it's like the complexity of the assembly. Because for me, it's like, oh, this is not a cute wife. People are like, why would I want to collect this? But I think it's because the fan base is much more rabid. Honestly, people think that the Japanese collectors are kind of rabid, but it's actually the Western ones, like the Disney collectors and like the action heroes, like the Batman, DC, or what Marvel, and like the Transformers, like their base it's pretty dedicated. Because you have some collectors like dating back from like the 80s, like because I think that's when Transformers originally came from, right? Like the 80s.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
1984, I guess.
right. Yeah,
But,
but
but thinking about that, like being the US being a rabid fan base for anime figures and stuff. Like, do you think it's because of the culture in the US that basically you told me yourself that a bunch of your friends are actually just normies and you're leaning on the community just to satiate that kinship when it comes to what you're passionate about?
yeah, but that's pretty much with any kind of hobby because like my ex, he was a pilot and he was a huge cyclist and he will and like every community has its own little quirks and niches. So it's like you just want to find the community that you kind of resonate with at this point. Like when I would hang out with his cycling buddies, like they had their own quirks and idiosyncrasies, and
Mm.
like and when he saw me hang out with like my group of movie friends, like oh wow, like they really like these toys. It's like, dude, you collect bikes, like come on, like so it's like, some of these bikes are not cheap. Like some of them, the good ones go at least for a grand.
Yeah.
Like actual like those professional grades bikes. It's interesting. Like everyone has their own little hobby and money hole, I guess. His was bikes, mine's plastic waifus. So yeah.
Well, and going back to the content creation stuff, like you do a lot of YouTube shorts. So do you just basically set all of your reviews in the shorts? Because I notice a majority of the long form ones are actually unboxings. Is that
Honestly,
your current
honestly, like
strategy?
not really. I just want to create the shorts out of the long form videos. I mean, I actually prefer long form content over short form content because I think like you're able to showcase your personality and express more details through long form content versus short form content. I mean, it's just a generational difference because I know the younger audiences they prefer like short form
Yeah.
content, but then it's like for me, it's like okay, like I need to know more. Like I can't understand this like within 30 seconds, or maybe it's a little bit longer than like three. How are they doing 3 minutes now? But it's just like there's certain things you can only capture within long form video that you can't capture within short form, in my opinion.
Yeah. With all the
Yeah.
dollars that
I also do it so then I can have content in between while I'm making my next video.
mm,
So, so yeah, so that's like a little bit of a placeholder.
yeah. The algorithm has held us hostage for years.
Yeah.
So, with all the dollars that you spent, all the time making content, what started the sickness for you? Which anime actually brought you into the fold?
Honestly, I when I first got into the hobby, I thought it was like a waste of money. Like, why would I spend money on plastic? But then the person who actually got me into the hobby was my brother, because at the time he got into anime figure collecting, but he doesn't collect anime figures anymore. He what does he collect now? Like his hobby changed a lot too. I think he collects right now he's collecting Labubus, right? I don't know, people's hobbies change, but and the figure that got me into the hobby was actually Hatsune Miku, the Nendro 2.0. So when it was
Hmm.
around 2013, so that's when they transitioned to the new faceplate model because in the past the Nendoroids you had to pull them
Yeah, you
out,
have to pull everything out.
but now they use like the sliding mechanic. So what's interesting?
Yeah, people actually barely remember that Nendoroid, that old one. That's hard to
Yeah,
actually replace.
Like Miku started it all. And it actually got more into like the niche aspects of anime through Miku because I remember watching like one of our old videos. It was like I was in high school, I was a freshman. It was 2009. It was Romeo Cinderella. It's like, whoa, what is this? Like, I want to learn more about this. So yeah, I'm one of the older collectors, that's for sure.
No, in terms of, again, the creation stuff, what aspect of creation do you actually enjoy?
I actually like video editing. I really like the editing process because that's where you can make the video much more fun and engaging. For me, it's always recording the video that's like I have to like, oh, I need to set the camera up, like, oh, I need to put the light and everything. But once you start recording, like it gets easier. So that's why when I upgrade to a camera, I can just set it there and forget it, and then just turn it on boot because now I'm using my phone. So the process of setting things up is much more manual.
Yeah, I feel you there. I have a backlog right now just because my audio actually didn't turn on during recording.
Right.
It's actually pretty discouraging at that point. Like, you've been collecting since 2013. Is there any
Right.
grail figure that you've actually acquired now?
Ooh, that's a good question. It will actually have to be like the Aniplex, Hamura, and Madoka. So
Hmm.
I don't know if you've seen them before. Like they're not the Good Smile Company one, but it's the one where they're kind of like lifting their arms up, like with the asymmetrical wings. Like it's really cool. And I remember they came out in 2018. I was in grad school at the time. So I was a broke grad student. So they were so beautiful and after they were released, like their aftermarket prices were crazy. I remember going to a convention before they were re-released. They were selling them for like $600 a pop. So it's like
Wow.
that's a lot bigger. But now after the re-release, they were closer. They were a little bit higher than they were originally released, but you have to account for inflation. But they were much more reasonable. So I guess those are my more recent grails
Hmm.
as of now. Yep.
Like, in terms of criteria, like, what makes you decide which figure you want to add to your collection? Upon looking at any online store you've been browsing for the past couple of years, what are you looking for that makes you think, ah, I want that on my shelf?
Well, I can't go back to Ami Ami because they canceled my account because when I was a broke grad student, I canceled way too many pre-orders and they they locked me out. Right now I'm gonna use yes, this my company Global because I really like the flat rate shipping. I use Hobby Genki for like exclusives I can find, and I also use this new site called La Porn Noir. I really like them for price figures, so I've been using them a lot for price figures. So I guess they're like my three main ones, like La Porn Noir for price figures, Hobby Genki for exclusives, Good Small Company for like the flat rate shipping for like those really big figures that you might wear. Shipping might cost a lot. No, and
Yeah.
also Hobby Search. I like Hobby Search too. I like Hobby Search too. And they're pretty old too. They've been here since the 1999. So they're one of the OGs.
Like in terms of what you're looking for in a figure, what actually pulls you in, what makes you gravitate to a single figure that you'd say you want that.
Mm, I guess the character design and maybe my attachment to the character too. It's a mix of both. Sometimes I like the design more than if I don't know anything about the character, or if I really like the character, but I know that it might not be the best design manufacturer wise because some manufacturers take some really good figures, but you kind of worry about the QC. Like one of them is like I recently uh bought the Dark Magician of Chaos. Like I always wanted a figure of him, but it was by this manufacturer called Belfine, and their QC is kind of iffy for the most part. They have some good figures, but it's very specific. Like I don't know if you're familiar with the Fate series. Like there's this character called Minamoto Raiko. Like she's one of their better skill figures, but their other skill figures are pretty like so I pretty much took the hit. So like I just want to get a bigger him because I know no one else is gonna make him. So I don't mind the QC being a little bit bad, but I really want it to be good though.
Yeah, now we're talking about QC. Have you ever given a bootleg a chance?
Mm, for me, I understand the people's logic behind purchasing bootlegs, but if there's a way for me to like help out like the industry in a way, like I'll do it through like merchandise, I guess. Because I see both sides of collecting bootlegs. So pretty much it's like whatever resonates with your values. For me, like I like supporting the industry where I can, so I gravitate towards like the official licensed stuff. But then I know
You've
some
never
people
actually reviewed a bootleg for educational purposes, right?
no. I know some other content creators who have though, but I can see the educational purposes for it as well. But
Mm.
then, but then also there's another reason why people like bootlegs. It's because like there will never be a chance made by other manufacturers. Like a good example I can think of is like this 1/4 Albedo bootleg. She looks pretty good for a bootleg, and
Yeah, that's
I
the one from Freeing, right?
and it's cast off too. So like there won't be any Japanese companies gonna make a 1/4 Albedo at that price margin for like even a price figure. So it's like collectors just gravitate towards the bootlegs because that's the closest thing they'll get to like
Yeah,
close to the
majority
real
of the bootlegs are actually quarter scale figures of binding and freeing.
right.
It's like they
Yeah,
have a preference.
right. Like a lot. I've been noticing that too. I've been noticing a right bootleg collectors for like 1/4 for like in like 18 plus figures now. There's like a huge market for that now that I haven't seen before. But to be
Hmm.
fair, like the manufacturing quality at the time wasn't probably up to par yet. So maybe that's why they're able to churn them out right now.
Now, I hope you don't mind we go a bit personal right now. Aside from anime and figures, what are your other hobbies?
Ooh, I'm really into fitness. I like working out. So I'm really into fitness. Um, I like reading. Like I live in the city, but
Yeah.
I like the fact that it's pretty walkable. So I like going outside, enjoying like the amenities, things like that. And yeah, pretty much like fitness, figures, nature, reading, like hanging out with friends and family. I'm a pretty simple guy.
Yeah, are there any content or collectors you look up to or want to collaborate with, by the way?
Oh yeah, because I want to improve my skills a little bit better. But I remember when I first started watching anime figure content, there was these two Canadian girls. They were called Mia and Maya. They had a channel called Go Figure. There was also like these other girls called Bluesica and Mikunya. I don't think they create content anymore. But at the time, I wanted to collaborate with them if I started creating content at the time. But since they don't create content anymore, it's like it is what it is. But I've been noticing more male figure reviewers now because I remember in the early stages of my collecting, it was mainly female. reviewers, not many male ones. So I've been seeing more male ones like Steve, Zuko, TTC. Those are like the well-known ones within the community.
I
So
notice a lot of female collectors actually gravitate towards the uh, bunny lines and the 18 plus.
I think it's probably the irony. Like you expect it to be men to be interested in those figures, right? But actually they actually have a pretty ardent female fan base. Like for me, I want them to make more 18 plus male figures. Like we need some
Best of both worlds.
diversity in figures, honestly. But I want them to be like rugged. I don't want them to be like frail and twink like there's so many bike shonen. It's like we need more rugged men. But it's a very niche market, so I don't know if it will happen within my lifetime, but I hope it does.
Yeah, going back to the personal stuff, like you've been doing this for how many years now? Like at some point, like it, it it should affect you, right? Personally, like how has your collecting hobby impacted your life, or at least in a sense, shape your personal style or the way
Personal
you
style,
actually do things?
like for me, I'm I'm trying to become much more intentional what I collect. If it's something I don't like, I guess sell it off. You kind of have to cycle it because the thing about collecting, it's like it can't stop. Like you have to establish some sort of boundaries, you know. So like there's this convention in my city, like they have like a flea market where people can sell like the used good, and that's a perfect opportunity for me like to downsize some of the figures out of one of my collection. And you also get more savvy, like you also try out all these other outlets like Facebook Marketplace. Like surprisingly, I sold one of my Shiros to someone who lived within my city, and I thought it was really cool because we met up at a local restaurant and he picked it up. So that was an interesting experience because most of the time when I sell figures, I have to ship them, but I met the guy in person, so that was pretty cool.
You
I guess
have
in
a
terms
lot
of
of Shiros, by the way. Are you a fan of No Game, No Life?
no,
Still,
I just like the aesthetic. I went through like a Shiro phase. I'm still into pastels, so I still have a good portion of them. But now I'm into I guess my replacement Shiro is K Angel now. Like I really like her
mm,
design. It's like that crazy but cute e-girl aesthetic. I think she's like the modern Shiro for this generation. And she's very
like,
like Y2K coded.
let's see. Like we've already touched on this in the first part of the interview, but just putting this officially as a question, like how do you feel about the current state of the anime figure market at the moment?
I think we addressed this a little bit earlier. It's gearing more towards like mobile games, gotcha games, and also I guess like what are those things people call how like those streamers,
The VTubers.
the YouTubers, yeah, because it has that continual, I guess, what's the word? Presence. Because it's not seasonal. Like I haven't watched many VTubers, but I'm assuming they're sort of like Twitch streamers. Like they're always like live streaming like when they can, you know. So they have like that parasocial relationship with people. And like with gotcha games, like they keep going until like they're out of servers. And and I'm assuming gotcha games, they don't require that much upkeep like those big triple A games
Yeah.
require. So
Yeah, I think that's the current model of why pop-up parades are actually pretty successful because of that trend of when an anime season is actually over, the merchandising for that actually stops, and people who are actually wanting to find those figures suddenly can't actually find them.
right.
So, pop-up parade actually found their very own niche, and
Mhm.
yeah, going forward, like in your channel right now, and I'm actually pretty impressed. But by the way, with regards to the quality of content, you said you're just using a phone to do that.
Yeah. So I use my iPhone 14 Pro, yes, to record. I use a DJI mic for like the actual audio recording. The video editing software I use is called Camtasia. I use
Mm.
Canva for like the assets, like in thumbnails, and I use Epidemic Sound for the music because I think having ambiance on a video really helps, like in terms of the sound music. And when the music I choose, I want to make sure it kind of relates to the figure I'm reviewing. So like the most recent example I can think of, like I was reviewing uh these like these gaudy like e-girl kind of figures. So I wanted to have like a background music that was kind of like popish. So it helps. So
It's good you actually consider music when it comes to your reviews.
uh,
I was actually kind of debating myself on whether I would be using music on mine or not.
because I think YouTube has a free library, but from what I've read, it's very limited. Like their library music,
If you've been around YouTube for quite some time, you've heard a lot of them. Like
right.
there are
I think
pretty there are the go-to ones when it comes to actually uh doing your videos. Like, by consensus, these are the music that you're gonna be using when you're doing certain types of videos. So
right,
I can understand why you want to go away from that when everybody else is actually doing it.
right.
Like what I guess what's next for you? Any upcoming projects or goals? Any additions you want to do for your YouTube channel?
I guess just improve my editing skills and I guess my production quality. Like I said, like I'm a bit of a lazy person, but I'm also trying to be efficient because, like I said, a lot of the skills I'm trying to learn for YouTube, I want to overlap them with my careers so I can use that as leverage, you know? So, like, hey, I can do this, so maybe I can qualify for promotion, or like when I pitch myself to another company for like a new role or something, like, hey, like,
Yeah.
not only can I do this, I can also do this, and this role encompasses these responsibilities. Like, I'll be an ideal candidate for that, you know? Like, honestly, if you're able to incorporate your hobbies into a work, but not too much, it makes like learning the hobby a little bit much more fun and engaging because if it wasn't for like the hobby, I don't think it would be as motivated to learn like the editing skills and all that relate to like the other sides of the roles and corporate I'm looking at. So yeah.
Okay. We're nearing the tail end now. Like my question for you is, this is about the current state of life. Like you did mention that you have a 9 to 5. How do you balance things being you as Jose and you as Diamond Flame 45? How do you balance the time that you put between your 9 to 5 and content creation?
So 9 to 5 comes first because that's my job. Like I don't make
Yeah.
any money from YouTube, but I enjoy the experience. Like I like it. It's like a creative outlet for me, so I still enjoy it. Um, Pretty much prioritize work and then also like my family and friendships. Like I'm Latino, so like we're really big on family. So like I don't mind like pushing aside some of my videos so as long for to prioritize some of my family and loved ones. And I guess that's it, honestly. Like I enjoy the hobby to get around, but there's certain things that I know I have to prioritize first. So maybe that's why I don't post as much because I tend to post like maybe at most two like long form videos a month, but I'm trying to get a bit more than that, you know. I'm trying to get to the point like I can push out like a video once a week. But the way I edit, I like to make my videos a little bit engaging and fun. I like doing like these little fun zany intros. Like like my most recent intro, I had fun because it was like my top 10 figures of 2024. So I wanted to give like a competition as five. So I did like a RuPaul Drag Race kind of as elimination round and had like Miku Dayo and like this really old bootleg saber figure. So you're tying it in.
Mhm. In terms of content creation, do you use storyboard your videos or you just do things on the fly?
I kind of raw dog my video. So it's like I have like an idea in mind. So like how it works, like intro. Well, it depends on the video. If it's like a figure review, it's like intro, unboxing, assembly, review, and final thought. So I guess that's like my generic structure for those type of videos. but I recently created a new video called like the What the Heck series, and I did one over desktop queue. So that video has done very well.
Hmm.
And I guess I want to do that more for like other product lines, like the Timos or like Tenedols or what's that other? I really want to do one for manufacturers, especially like the Chinese ones, because man, like those Chinese manufacturers, like, they're cooking up some good stuff. Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Animester, Bear Panda.
Bear Panda, yeah. I
It's
actually
not
pre-ordered my
only
pre Bear Panda for July. It's like these two little succubus girls, and I can't believe for the it was like $100 for like two 1/6 scale figures, which is insane.
not even 1716, right? So
Right. Right. And these are like scale figures because like I like you could like BQ bunnies like they're like the equivalent of 1/6 size, and I really like BQ bunnies. Like
yeah,
they're one of my
almost
they're one
all
of
of
my
them are actually nearing the 1/6 scale when it comes to
right
height.
right they're one of my favorite price figure lines that have come out recently, and it's great. Like collectors have more options to get into the hobby. Like they don't have to collect like the very expensive scales anymore. Like they can have like a very user budget friendly entry point, and then they can get sub or move up if they want.
Yeah, and the amount of space that it actually takes up, right?
Right,
You have to
right,
consider how much you paid for it, and that thing actually is supposed to be paying rent for the amount of space it's actually taking.
right, right. But surprisingly, I'm pretty good with budgeting. Like for me, it's like whenever I get paid, it's like I go, okay, pay all my necessities, put away like for my investments and stuff like that, savings, and then whatever's left over is like the fun money. You kind of have to force yourself, like doing like the automatic like budgeting features like in the apps you use or whatever. So then you're not forced to touch that money, you know. You
Hmm.
know I mean, you're not tempted to touch the money, I mean. So yeah. So
Like we're
and I have
choosing.
a question.
Go ahead,
So
continue.
since you collect Transformers, Christian, like what's like the average price for those figures for those transform articulate are they how do you
They
call them
are
articulated
articulated.
figures?
Like the official ones created by Hasbro, I think some of them actually range from like between 50 to 100, sometimes even
Oh,
$150.
okay.
I collect third party ones, unofficial ones, and these actually the prices actually range from 120, cheapest would be 100, up to 400 to 600, sometimes 1,000. Like a full size Transformers like that, which is a combiner built up of five different robots, each actually with a height of 12 inches. That actually marks up to 1,000, more than 1,000
Oh,
sometimes. So, but it is staggered within releases, so you have enough time to actually save up.
yeah.
Because they need to actually engineer transformation. That's why when everyone actually mentions the price for the scale figures, I always question like why. These are
Right.
also painted by the way. Some of them have die cast.
Right,
So
yeah. And that's
they
pretty
use
pricey.
different in the process of during the factory making process, like they have different types of molds that they're using for
Right,
metal and for plastics. Also, they have to find manufacturers for screws. Sometimes they extend the R&D because sometimes things doesn't work because they also need to articulate. They need to move. They need to be posed. So a 1 year wait for one toy is actually pretty reasonable.
right,
That's why I figured painted statues spanning for 1 year. Like the only explanation I could probably give for that is that the contract for the franchises has a definite number of pre-orders that they need to satisfy. If they don't fill that contract, they're extending the pre-order.
right, right,
Like I can't understand how expensive the franchises are. If
right,
these figures were actually licensed, this would be one figure would actually cost more than 1,000, considering the
right,
amount of material they actually use. So,
right,
but I digress. That's a gripe with Transformers collector. It's not mostly about the weight. Ours mostly is about price.
right.
So
Yeah.
moving back to you, Is there any thing you want to say to our audience about you and your channel?
You can just go to my channel and just check out my videos if you're interested. Like for me, I like making video reviews, but I like making them funny and engaging. So I guess that's my little bit side because everyone has their own little unique take on how they do like their video reviews. Some people are very eloquent with how they speak. Some are very matter of fact and straight to the point. Some of them have very like cinematic like editing and like you probably heard of KanColle, right? Like it feels like I'm
Yeah,
watching like a film when he reviews figures. So it's like everyone has their own unique style.
yeah. I
And I
tried to do
guess
a style one time. I actually quit. Like,
right.
involves a
Like
lot of
yeah,
work.
yeah, you pretty much have to do the editing, the style that's sustainable for you, that doesn't interfere with your personal life. Because like I'm old, I'm in my 30s now, so I have to make sure like it doesn't interfere with like my personal or familial commitments, you know. So and of course work. So you have to find that balance. And I guess like for people who hesitate about creating content, yes, start. All you need is literally like a phone and a tripod, like, and you can just build your way up. Like honestly, like if I could tell myself in the past, yes, start, and also not to buy a gimbal. I rarely use that thing. I wasted like $200 on a gimbal because I thought I would need it for my videos.
I bought a gimbal.
Rarely use it. I should have used that on better lighting, like honestly. And I'm glad I invested. And the DJI mic was a good investment because
Yeah,
people will tolerate like a poor quality video, but if the audio's bad, like they'll leave as soon as possible.
yeah, because
So,
a good quality audio you could actually spin it in a new content, right?
right.
In a new content form.
Yeah. And also because people want to be able to hear you well, you know. And you don't even have to show your face. Like some people just show their hands for the figure and that's it, or voiceovers. Like for me, I like putting myself out there so that like people can recognize who I am. Like, ooh, like this is me. And also like people can recognize like my content with me, you know. I guess what's that called? Like personal branding? Yeah, personal branding.
So that thing with you in front of the camera, that started right off the bat. That was your decision
Right,
immediately. Like, I want to be in front of the camera.
right, right. Like, I want to be in
Uh,
front of the camera.
like I can see your reviewing style is actually not a lot of people actually do it. They're in front of the camera and actually looking at the figure and describing it to the audience.
Right,
So I find that uh, intriguing because as I do mine, I'm actually behind the camera. But yours, I can actually see your expression. Was that
right.
intentional? The
Yeah,
effect of that?
right. Like for me, like this is something I don't like people. Well, everyone has their choice. Like some people when they talk about a detail, they don't really show the detail. They kind of do some. They do this like carousel view of the figure.
Yeah,
Like when you're talking about a detail, show me like some B-roll of that actual detail you're looking for. Because I know because recording B-roll it takes work as well, but people appreciate those details. Like when I see someone like show me like this very small detail of a figure and they have the B-roll for it, I like for me, like I appreciate that because I know it took a lot of work to do that. And it's a very good detail to know. Because some people will just like show some carousel footage to like and not show like the actual detail they're talking about. Like that's one of like my little pet peeves when I look at figure reviews. But like I said, I understand because like getting B-roll, it takes a while. And like trying to enter the B-roll for each frame for that portion you're talking over about that detail, it adds up. So I understand. But like for me, I like going the extra mile because I know some people appreciate those little details. And I'm one of those people that appreciate those details.
mm. And finally, what would Diamond Flame 45 say to Diamond Flame 45 a year ago after all the time has passed?
I would tell that DiamondFlame45 from a year ago to have started like 10 years ago. Actually creating content like just having like those it's like it's as cliche as it sounds like to get ahead in life you kind of have to start early because the skills you learn kind of compound, whether it's like compound interest when you're saving or like skills you're learning. It's just like the key is to start early and just iterate as you go. And I should have told myself like when I had when I started collecting around 2014, even though I had like I don't remember which iPhone model I had at the time. Even if I started with that, like I could have improved as I gone. So like I tell people, I guess start like and if you don't find the hobby enjoyable, it's fine. Like you don't have to make videos. Some people are just content of just collecting and taking pictures and that's it. But for me, I found that the hobby much more engaging once I actually started creating content because it made the hobby not just simply consumerism. It's like I'm creating something and showcase it into the rest of the world. Like for some reason, a lot of people from Japan watch my content and they leave Japanese comments, and I don't even know how I get recommended to them. Like, oh, that's so cool that people from Japan are watching my content. And it's also interesting comparing the styles because a lot of them they don't show their faces at all. They just show the figure, that's it, and they show you like the cultural differences, like from there and from the U.S. I guess because you know how Americans are. They like they're loud and like they're social, like putting themselves out there, you know. Or maybe it's not America, it's just maybe the West. Yeah,
Let's put the West out there. Like
right.
it's interesting to check your analytics when it comes to where your traffic is actually coming from. Like I really am surprised that a lot of mine is coming from Latin America. So maybe there's a anime culture there or something. Like
I honestly, I think Western franchises have a pretty strong presence in Latin America. Like a lot of like Transformers and like the superhero stuff, more than you think.
it's
I
thriving
think,
there.
huh?
It's really
Sorry.
thriving there, right?
Right, right.
Well,
Which is cool because my parents actually watched anime back in the day. They watched a show called Candy Candy, and
yeah, I remember that. Good
yeah, my
God, now you
parents.
can you probably know my age.
Yeah, my parents watched that. My dad, he watched this robot show called Mazinger. I think it's like the V robot or something like that. He watched that too when he was a kid.
Yeah, Voltus
Yeah,
5 is one
yeah,
of
yeah,
them.
yeah. Yeah. And the
It's
Knights of
back
the
in,
Zodiac, but in Spanish it's called Los Caballeros de Zodiaco or something like that. Caballeros is something.
that's back in the 80s, 70s, some
Right,
of them. Candy Candy, I think it's 70s.
right. Yeah, my parents were born in the 70s.
It's
They
been
had
a
me
long time
young.
since I've heard that that title.
Yeah, my parents had me young.
Well, Diamond Flame 45, it's been a pleasure having you for this month's spotlight. Like, where can people actually find you?
If you want to see more of my videos, y'all, you can check out my YouTube channel. It's just DiamondFlame45. Uh, I look forward y'all to seeing my channel because I'm gonna be reviewing that Miku right there behind me. Like I see to record the B-roll and do some editing and boom. Like you know, people they like their Mikus in the anime figure community. Like
Yeah, it's a slippery slope.
right. But yeah, like but they sell like Miku's a safe choice honestly because companies like they know she sells, so they put effort in her figures, even if they're price figures. Like Miku's a slippery slope, but she's a safe choice.
Yeah. Well, anyway, with that being said, thank you, Diamond Flame 45, again for joining us, and to our audience. Thank you for watching another episode of PSM Spotlight. Don't forget to check out Diamond Flame 45's channel, and please don't forget the rest of our content here at PSM YouTube channel. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, share, comment, all that jazz. And with that being said, we'll see you in the next.